Welcome everyone to the Phoenix Report. I'm Jack Connor. Man, I know we're running a little bit late. I apologize for that, but I've had a lot of people asking me, when are we going to do a WrestleMania review? It's been over a week now since WrestleMania 32. As we record this, it's Tuesday, April 12th, 2016. Things have just been crazy busy over here. I haven't been able to get the entire panel, but I did get, of course, two of my regulars here. First of all, from chronocore.com, the Professor Corey C-Dub. Corey, how you doing?
Doing fantastic, Jack. Pleasure to be here as always.
And as always, every three-man booth needs its heel. So I wanted to get the ultimate keyboard warrior, the man who goes to the Jim Cornette School of Fashion, Brian Connolly.
Fuck you.
Really? Not no, how dare you?
I don't know.
You're just
we don't
man, you're just
we
cutting
don't have
right,
to go with that.
You're just cutting right to the chase, aren't you? Wow.
I'm feeling a little under the weather. I'm going to blame it on the medications.
Wow, serious heat.
The various medications, the Ico Pro, the Stackers, the Jolt Cola, the Crystal Clear Pepsi.
Wow.
I'm on a lot of substance, a lot of performance-enhancing drugs in my system.
Wow. Maybe you got some Tab and some New Coke in there as well, if we're going on with other old products that don't exist anymore.
I'm pretty sure they're performance enhancers. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to, what performance that's supposed to enhance, but be that as it may.
Purely sexual. It was a tip I got off Lord Alfred Hayes.
Purely, yeah. Speaking of PS, we'll get into him later, but now, guys, what did you see, or what were your thoughts, kind of overall of the events surrounding WrestleMania 2, Corey?
Well, I gotta say, Jack, as we were talking about before we came on the air here, WrestleMania 32 really felt like a season finale of sorts, because since WrestleMania 32, WWE, specifically Monday Night Raw, has really had a completely different feel. You've seen a lot of new faces. I thought it's been really, really refreshing. I thought WrestleMania delivered on everything that it promised. It really exceeded my expectation. But the first gripe I've got to have is the fact that there was so much content spread out from the pre-show to the main event. I mean, it was super long. It felt like I was watching a NASCAR race or something.
It was a lot. It was a long show. There was a lot to get in, but I don't think it was necessarily. I mean, for me, I don't think that was necessarily a bad thing. Brian, what did you think of the show overall? Did you like it? Did you not like it? I mean, overall, thumbs up, thumbs down.
I mean, I hate to be the heel.
No, you don't.
To find the negative. Yeah, I know. I say that to preface my statement by knowing I'm going to heel out. First of all, this is the first time I signed up for the network's free trial. I've had other ways of watching shit. So I signed up, and I wasn't able to watch WrestleMania until 10:30. I kept saying it was an error. So, whatever. I won't give it a 1-star Yelp review based upon that. But, so I finally got it to work at 10:30, and that's when The Rock came out and started cutting his promo. And I was thinking it was about to end. I was like, I caught the end of it. And, it still went on for another hour. So the pacing of it was terrible. Like a 2-hour pre-show, 4.5 hours. It did feel like a bit of a chore to have to sit through at that point, because I was already behind, and I had to get off Facebook to avoid the spoilers. But it was an okay show. Just a lot of it left me wanting a little bit more, like the Hell in a Cell and the Ambrose Brock match. I thought was going to be a lot more brutal than it was, and it was an okay show. But that's not what I like to say about WrestleMania. WrestleMania needs to be like, wow, that was amazing, and instead it was kind of just like meh. And there's a lot more to cover as to why I think that. But
okay,
we'll get.
That's fair. We got a couple differing viewpoints here. That's what keeps the show interesting, I think. Now, did you guys catch? And we can touch on this, briefly. I know we mainly want to focus on Mania because that was the big show. I'm not talking about Paul White. I'm talking about that was the main deal. But I did see NXT Takeover Dallas. That was quite a show as well. What were some of the highlights for that? Corey, did you have anything in that show that sort of stood out to you in particular?
Oh man, I felt like everything stood out on that show. They made such efficient use of the time that they had. There was no wasted time. It was either a match, an entrance, or a video package summing up the feud. NXT TakeOver Dallas just completely, pacing wise, in ring. I mean, I think I only saw one botch the entire night. Nakamura versus Zayn, that was a instant classic. Bayley versus Asuka, that was a fantastic match. Samoa Joe and Finn Balor was, oh man, that was a knockdown, drag out brawl. I loved that. So I feel like NXT TakeOver kind of was this year's WrestleMania to me, because it gave me that same feeling of excitement that WrestleMania brought at times, but it wasn't start to finish that way like it was with TakeOver.
Okay. Brian, did you see NXT TakeOver?
Yeah, and like you said, man, the pacing has a lot to do with it. Was quicker, more exciting. Not to say WrestleMania is not exciting, but when you drag it out the length that they do, they got a lot to learn from the way they do NXT, man. And they and obviously with the direction it's going now with all the call-ups, they see a winning formula. The women's matches always steal the show for me in the past couple NXT TakeOver matches, and even WrestleMania this year. That's about all I took away from it was the women's. Thank God the Divas Revolution is over. Whatever they're calling this women's movement is in full swing, and they got a lot of talented women to carry the company further from this point forward.
Definitely. I mean, I definitely agree on both points. NXT Dallas, NXT Takeover Dallas was a great show, top to bottom. Every match was fantastic, I thought. Definitely nothing to complain about there. My impression of it was it didn't seem like, and I don't know. I mean, it seemed like, it was good. It didn't seem like it was. For me, and this might sound weird, and it's not a knock on the show itself, but it didn't seem like it was sort of the NXT version of WrestleMania in as much where I felt like NXT TakeOver Brooklyn from last summer seemed like a bigger show, if that makes any sense. Maybe because it was in the Barclays Center, maybe because there was more spectacle in there as far as like the entrances and the presentation.
This was too stacked of a weekend, man, with the Hall of Fame, the 9-hour show,
right.
Raw the next night. It's as a wrestling fan, I don't know how they expect you to take in that much. So it could have been, a little bit of burnout, even, before the weekend had started. Just
that's a good point.
Much.
That's a good point. I mean, I was just saying that as that was something I noticed right away, and maybe because it was, I think the venue itself was a convention center. It wasn't like a full-blown arena. That kind of just affected the presentation a little bit. Again, not a knock on it. Doesn't take anything away from the show, but that was just my observation.
Brooklyn had the Iron Woman match too, right?
True, and that was like one of those once in a lifetime matches. It's not even fair to really compare other matches to that, just because that was so good. But
that's a WrestleMania, worthy thing in itself. The Iron Man match.
Career defining, yeah. No, but all of it was good. American Alpha defeated the Revival. That was a big moment for Jason Jordan. I know he had been in the developmental for years, so that was a really big deal for him to win that tag title with Chad Gable. Those guys are fantastic. Austin
New
Aries,
chippers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just pure wrestlers, no doubt. Austin Aries made his debut, and he defeated Baron Corbin. Definitely a big win for Austin Aries, and kind of introduced him to anyone who wasn't in the crowd who wasn't sure of him, although it was a pretty smart crowd. Nakamura and Zayn was great. I mean, they had the crowd eating out of the palm of their hand before the match even started.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Shinsuke Nakamura is pretty much my favorite wrestler in the entire world right now. So, and he has been for probably 2 years straight now. The guy is just completely soaked with charisma. All of his stuff in the ring looks really, really snug. It looks believable. He already has a built-in fan base. I mean, his English isn't the best, but he can work on that. But for him to be able to not have to speak as much and still have that presence with the crowd, WWE can't buy that with anybody, including their American stars. So as long as he has that X factor, man, that's all that really counts.
I agree, and I'll be the first to admit, and I know people will probably blow me up for this or troll me or whatever, but I mean I personally don't follow the New Japan product. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me neither, man.
It's not because I don't want to or I don't respect it. I just haven't been really exposed to it. So this was like my first sort of like introduction into Nakamura. I think I had seen him once or twice on Ring of Honor TV when I watched that for a minute. But yeah, no, he's definitely a character. Like I wasn't really sure what to make of him at first, but I mean, the guy's definitely, he's definitely has that charisma. The crowd is really into him. Great worker. I don't know exactly how I feel about the strong style stuff. I mean, I know people are big fans of that, but I tend to be like, man, I don't really want these guys going too stiff on each other. But I mean, I know it's more snug than stiff from what I hear. But I mean, that's just my personal preference of it.
Yeah, they need to cut back on injuries and concussions, if you ask me.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, let's be honest. This is entertainment. We don't need to see guys really beating the crap out of each other. That's just. I mean, we want it to be believable, but that's just right.
Yeah, the best ones make it look like it's real. Like Bret Hart never injured a person in his entire career. Right. Made it look like he did.
Yeah, it's like the difference between method acting and just good acting. But no, it was a great match. I think it seems like it was Sami Zayn's farewell to NXT since he's called up to the main roster now. I think he's pretty much in the thick of it.
Yeah, dude, pulling double him and Baron Corbin. Got to give props to the two of them.
Yeah, both those guys are having great opportunities. I'm psyched for them. Let's see the next one. Asuka defeated Bayley, and she's the women's champ now. I'm kind of surprised.
I love both of them.
Yeah, no, both of them are great. I'm surprised that they didn't, call Bayley up, the day after WrestleMania, and I guess as of this recording, she's not on the main roster yet. I thought this would have been like the perfect time because she dropped it.
It would have been too soon for that. They got to hold off on that for the right moment.
Yeah, that's a good point, and they may be waiting, or maybe just want to extend that program a little bit longer in NXT. And
she's gonna be huge when she finally does debut, man. It's gonna be like Daniel Bryan.
I could see them bringing her in at Payback after this Charlotte versus Natalya match that we're likely gonna see.
Oh, definitely, I could see that.
Yeah, I kind of wonder what direction they're going with Becky and Sasha, since everybody seemed to think Sasha Banks was a lock to be the first women's champ.
Right.
That's weird too. So, now the first women's champion. It's a little confusing. The lineage.
It's pretty
title.
Cool. We can definitely kind of get to that in a minute. Finn Balor and Joe. That was just a brutal match. It looks like those guys were just going so stiff on each other. It was just it looked like a really like physical match. But but Finn ended up winning. I was surprised. I thought. For some reason I thought he was going to drop the title to Joe and then be called up, but it looks like they're not done with it.
I thought he was going to make a WrestleMania appearance.
Right. I mean, he's another guy. I mean, he's a major star waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, Hall of Fame. I mean, speaking of long shows that were a little bit drawn out, the Hall of Fame was there.
Yeah.
I was definitely happy with the inductions this year. I know some people have, again. That's the thing with these Hall of Fames. They're always going to be like, oh, why isn't this guy in? Or how come this person made it in?
I'm done complaining at this point. It's like whatever.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be what it's going to be. I was fine with the inductions. I mean, obviously the one everyone is talking about is the Freebirds getting on there. Corey, what did you think about Michael PSAs and Jimmy Jam Garvin?
Oh boy. Well, I think I was probably most pleasantly surprised to see Jesse, Ray Gordy of the legendary tag team Jesse and Festus.
That's right.
And what do you know? We actually end up
Both
seeing good old Festus not too much longer after that. But man, that Freebirds induction, boy, that was a little bit long in the tooth, was it not?
Right. Well,
I didn't make it through the whole thing, dude. I couldn't do it. That whole show was too much for me. That whole weekend, even I've had time to catch up. I just don't care about that class of Hall of Famers. I'm sorry.
Right. No, I mean it was pretty painful to watch. I'm not gonna lie. Look.
I have to say, I don't mind Snoop being in the Celebrity Hall of Fame because he's a fan.
Yeah,
and
he's actually
some of these other guys that have gone in there.
Yeah, he's actually had a lot of cool moments.
I can only think of the WrestleMania 24 thing because we were there.
That's right. Yeah, you and I were there, Brian.
Exactly. He's made a lot of appearances over the years, and he knows a lot about it, and that makes me feel like it's not that much of a stretch to have somebody like him in there as opposed to Donald Trump or Arnold Schwarzenegger, these guys that they put in there just for name value. And Sasha Banks is his cousin or whatever, so
yeah, I thought that
he got to be involved.
I thought I thought it was great. I thought he was great. I liked him during Sasha's entrance at WrestleMania. He came out there and rapped a little bit. That was cool.
I gotta say, how puzzling was it to have Snoop Dogg, The Godfather, and Michael Hayes all in the same building, and Snoop Dogg was the most dressed down of the three of those.
Right, he was the more conservative of the three.
And Jack, the first ever black women's champion, going in the same year as Michael P.S. Hayes. I don't know if that was a publicity, a PR move, to put Snoop. Everybody knows about Michael P.S. Hayes saying some unsavory things backstage.
Yeah, well, let's get to that in a minute. Like I fully.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, well, neither am I, but I'm going to explain why. I don't deny that the Freebirds deserve to get in the Hall of Fame. I mean, obviously they're a huge influence, unquestionable.
Especially in Texas.
Unquestionable. I mean, we can't deny the impact they've had on the business. That having been said, it's kind of like you ever have a friend of yours and you meet their dad, and their dad is one of those guys who just he's just very loud, very very overly confident, probably more confident than he should be, and always has the right answer in his mind, and is always willing to give you advice whether you want it or not. That to me is what Michael Hayes is.
He's full of shit, man. This guy is so full of shit.
He's the Technicolor Cowardly Lion.
Right.
He's ridiculous. I can tell which ideas were his over the years, like 3MB. If you've ever seen the guy, his music videos for his album that he recorded not that long ago on YouTube, the guy thinks he's a legitimate rock star. It's like, take a step back, man, and realize that you ain't shit to the world of music, dude.
His whole, I mean, most of his gimmick was being a white dude who moonwalked back in the 80s, back when it was the new thing.
His voice is horrendous. He has the worst singing voice for somebody that thinks he's. Oh God, man! It's
he's the ultimate redneck who who thinks he's a cool dude.
He's like a cartoon character. It's ridiculous.
His voice sounded like supper was late at the pound.
Pretty damn accurate.
I will say this: he is a hell of a talker, and he does have a good voice for broadcasting. And I will say that about him. But I mean, it was just embarrassing, seeing him and Jimmy Garvin go out. Jimmy Garvin, who wasn't even in the Freebirds during their heyday. I
didn't even know who the hell that was.
Yeah, it's like seeing.
I know the other two Freebirds are dead. They're like, oh, there's another guy, and apparently this is him.
Yeah, but I mean, seeing those guys go out there and dance for 5 minutes. Then give the most long-winded acceptance speech in the history of mankind. Not only that, I mean, I was glad that they brought out Ray Gordy and Buddy Jack Roberts' son to say some nice things about their dads. I thought that was cool. They brought in like Kevin Von Erich for the hot tag in the middle of that, and even he was like, "What am I doing here? Like I'm not inducting these guys."
Well, yeah, it was kind of strange that they had the New Day. I get that they have the Freebird rule in effect.
Right.
Fitting.
Right. And the New Day
like
were hilarious. Let's be honest. I mean, those guys.
Oh yeah.
They always are, man.
Those guys
are
comedy gold. I mean, it's just. I think the difference between the Freebirds and the New Day is that the New Day realizes how ridiculous they're being. I think for like the Freebirds, it was almost a shoot.
The Freebirds they thought they were legit badass rock stars.
Right.
With the Confederate flag robes. It's like, man, look how over we are. The world loves us. Like,
right.
Not everybody.
They thought they were the second coming of Leonard Skinner, and that I'm amazed Vince even paid for the rights for the song Freebird. That was, again, talk about long drawn out song to come out to. I mean, great song, but come on. And then and then
hopefully he's going to take that money that he spent out of Doc Hendrix's check there.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm convinced.
A
Michael
combination
Hayes
of Doc and Jimi Hendrix is Doc Hendrix.
Wow.
Yes.
Wonderful combination.
I mean, I don't know what Hayes has on Vince, but that's another story. Whatever
the Brooklyn Brawler has.
It's in the lockbox that Shane knows about, but
with the Katie Vick sex tape.
Pretty much. So yeah, they did that. Then Michael Hayes proceeds to go on like a full 5-minute extended performance of Bad Street USA, and I was just like, oh my god, can we wrap this up already?
He really thinks he's the shit, and it's sad. Like, it'd be funny if it wasn't so he's delusional, and
right.
He still writes for WWE Creative, which is it's very indicative as to why they're stuck in the rut that they're in for moving ahead. Get with the times, dude.
Right.
Michael P.S. Hayes got a hot tip. Jerry Springer, Dr. Phil are available.
Yeah, the kids love that, right?
He's the one that's in Vince's ear now, I'm convinced. And the sooner we get rid of, all right, dude, Freebird's in the Hall of Fame. Now can you fuck off, please?
Yes, that was pretty much my okay, you had this self-indulgent hour-long acceptance speech. Can you please go away
You're the man
now?
You're the man, and now you got your legacy. Sting retired.
Yes.
Why can't you retire? Off into the sun.
He was the guy I actually wanted to see there. Sting, one of my favorites, obviously. Yeah, I mean,
what do you
Sting,
think of that? Think of that bombshell that he dropped, man.
I mean, I kind of saw it coming. I mean, we had heard about his surgeries and everything. It wasn't that much of a stretch, and
it just made it official. Everybody had the hopes and optimism about him wrestling Taker one last time, or
Yeah, and it's would I love to see more Sting matches? Of course, but I mean, at the same time, I don't. He doesn't have anything left to prove. I mean, he's already done everything, and
for the same reason, we don't need another Daniel Bryan match. We don't need another Sting match. They're both great, but it's look, these guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's I like these guys, but but I want them to have their health and happiness and their quality of life more than I want to be entertained. So
yeah,
exactly. And too many dudes already paid the price for that. Big Boss Man, fellow Hall of Fame inductee.
Yeah, deservedly so. I mean,
all overdue for him, man. Yeah, he's awesome. I love the Boss Man.
Yeah, I'm happy for his family, obviously, that they get to have that, and that's a good thing.
His daughter was pretty funny, telling stories about Pepper.
Yeah, she had a couple good ones in there.
The casket dragging. I didn't expect to hear any of those stories, so that was funny.
She seems like a cool chick, she gets it. So that was great. I was kind of glad seeing seeing Joan London get the Warrior Award and all the stuff she's done for breast cancer. I mean, look, my mom's a breast cancer survivor, so that So that's kind of cool to see that being acknowledged.
I think we all have family members that were affected by, some kind of cancer, but breast cancer primarily. My only gripe with this Warrior Award was, and I hate to even bring it up, but when the Warrior, because I was at the induction ceremony, when he brought up what his intentions for the Warrior Award were for the honored people backstage, like cameraman, the merch guy, I forget what his name was.
Jimmy Miranda.
Warrior was very close with the guy. The intention of the award and what WWE has turned it into is kind of like a PR move, and I get it. WWE is all about publicity and stuff. And it's not to say Joan London or Connor the Crusher aren't worthy recipients. It's just a little bizarre, the twist. And this is what got Justin Roberts, the announcer, in trouble. It was his doing in getting Connor the Crusher involved with WWE. And he kind of spoke out against it, saying, like, WWE is just using this for publicity. And it's like, what did Joan London ever really do for WWE before that Raw appearance? But that's not the point. You know, like, it's fine. Another thing, there's really no need to complain about it, because
it's one of those things, like, there's really no winning when complaining about stuff like that. I mean,
yeah, and it's not really a complaint so much as just like they have Warrior's wife, Dana, involved, so that, as long as they have her participation, it's fine. It's not like an Owen Hart, Martha Hart thing where she doesn't want them using his name. Like, she's totally cool with it. So I just wonder how many years they're going to keep doing that.
I don't know. I mean, it seems like they've really gotten behind, like, using the Ultimate Warrior's name whenever they mention, like, the legends and stuff like that. And I guess it's good.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong.
And it's a good thing for Dana and the two girls that I guess the company is trying to take care of them and everything. It's one of those things where it does seem a little disingenuous because they hated the Warrior for so long, and now all of a sudden they're saying he's the greatest of all time.
The last weekend he spent was making amends, for all those bridges he burnt. And thank God he did, man. Shit, talk about.
Yeah,
and I was there.
Right. No, I know. It's just it's a strange thing. Obviously, I'm not saying. I mean, I don't know what went on behind closed doors. I mean, maybe they all did make up before that stuff. It's just, I don't know. It just seems very odd how, like, he died the day after, and I don't know. It's strange.
I liken it to, like, he sold a part of his soul coming back to WWE. When he shook Hogan's hand and Vince McMahon's hand, that went against everything he believed, and I don't know. That's just a theory.
Yeah.
They killed the Warrior.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying. I mean, it's just weird. With the history is just so crazy. It's
I'm pinning it on Hogan because Hogan's evil, man, and Warrior
it's all
knew
his fault.
Warrior knew Hogan was evil. Macho Man knew Hogan was evil, and Piper knew Hogan was evil. Now his true colors are finally showing, and I know it hurts you to hear that.
It does.
You're a Hulkamaniac.
It does. It really
does.
But
I was a Warrior guy, man. I flipped out when he beat Hogan. And I could just tell to this day, there's still a Hogan versus Warrior. Like, you're on one side, you can't be on both. It's like Star Wars or Star Trek.
I mean, I like both Star Wars and Star Trek. Come on now. I feel like
Star Wars and Warrior all day long.
All right, I'm not opposed to that. I'm just laughing. Is there anything, Brian, that you're not going to blame on Hulk Hogan? It seems like. It's like, oh man, I was gonna, they just raised taxes. Thanks, Hogan.
Let me think about it. Yeah. Well, Obama.
Yeah.
Hogan had nothing to do with that.
It's the same thing. Thanks, Obama. Thanks, Hogan. Kind of the same thing.
It's all Hootie's fault.
Damn you, Hootie.
One thing I really did like about Hall of Fame weekend is the fact that it was just with a short video package, but they did the legacy wing of the Hall of Fame for the first time this year. Pat O'Connor, Lou Thez,
yes.
George Hackenschmidt, Frank Gotch, Sailor Art Thomas, all kinds of legends in there. Mildred Burke.
Why did they kayfabe it so hard? They didn't mention it at all.
They didn't promote it.
Because no one really knows who they are. I think that's why.
Well, Lou Thez, everybody knows Lou Thez from Austin doing the Lou Thez press, so I thought at least he would get some. But I looked back on, most of those guys have been dead for, like,
almost 100 years. I mean,
yeah, like, you couldn't find anybody to induct them, and it would slow down the
there's
ceremony.
likely there's likely not anybody alive who saw Frank Gotch versus George Hackenschmidt at Comiskey Park in 1905.
Yeah, I mean,
and they're just trying to further the legitimacy of the Hall of Fame by adding names like that to it, and they already got the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, which is way ahead of them.
Way ahead.
I mean,
ahead.
I thought they handled that as best they could. Honestly, I mean, it's
fine. Another thing, I don't have any problem with it. It's like,
I mean, like, I know the name Luthez, but I mean, I don't know anything about the man's career. I know he was a big deal, but it's just, I mean, it's a generational thing, really. But not to take away from what they did, but I thought it was cool that they were at least acknowledged in that way.
It seems odd that in 2010 they inducted Gorgeous George, who
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Before their time, and Stu Hart, a lot of these guys that were, I don't know, this kind of swept them under the rug this year and threw them in, but
fine. Young man, I'll have you know that nobody sweeps Stu Hart under the rug.
Well,
take it down to the dungeon.
Thank you, Mr. Hart, for checking in from beyond the grave. Appreciate that.
He's gonna hook and stretch somebody in the dungeon, make him humble.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Have some discipline. Have some discipline.
All right, no. We have all the discipline we need here. Thank you. All right. Well, anyways, we haven't even touched on the main thing yet. Let's get to WrestleMania.
Touch on the main thing. I'm all about touching on the main thing.
I know. Well, that's goes back to Stu Hart and his discipline, but that's
hooking and stretching in the dungeon. Come down to my dungeon.
I don't even.
We can touch on the main thing.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into that, but
Don't worry. Well, let's talk about the main thing. Lana's ass.
That is really the main thing. That's one of the greatest things.
My God, I had to make note of that with Lana's ass with an exclamation point.
Pretty much.
How about good old Brie Bella getting her big send off there? That lasted for about 2 seconds, and then they cut to a video package.
Well,
and no mention whatsoever. Not a word about the next night. About thank you, Brie Bella. None of that shit.
Well, nothing. I mean, I guess you wanted to quietly go out. I didn't think that was a bad way to go out. I thought the pre-show matches were pretty good. Honestly, I even the Kalisto and Ryback match was better than I thought it was going to be.
It was empty. It was empty.
Man.
Right. Well, there, as we're going to hear in the bonus segment of this podcast, which I recorded a little while ago, that's going to be tacked on to the end of this. I talked with a friend of mine who was actually there, and he explains some of the reason, and that actually comes up in the discussion. Right. So everyone listening, stay tuned for that little inside bonus info.
Someone who was there, I like it.
Gotcha. So Kalisto and Ryback, that was a good match. I think I know you guys aren't fans of Ryback. I think he's come a long way. I thought he worked well in that match. Kalisto is great. See that even the Total Divas, like the even that match versus the Bad and Blonde was a lot better than I thought it would be. You could tell the girls were working really hard, and obviously, it being Brie's last match, she got a really cool moment with her sister coming out. Obviously, it wasn't like a gigantic send-off, but I thought it was a pretty cool way to go out, sort of.
It seems crazy to me that in a 5-hour show, there's 3 matches that they couldn't sneak in there that had to go on a 2-hour pre-show.
Yeah.
It's just pacing again. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's a little odd, but I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't know the mechanics behind that. It's all on the network.
There's so much eye candy in that. So we had Emma.
Oh my
goodness. We had Ava
Marie. So many gorgeous
Paige.
ladies.
Oh my God, man, it was killing me.
Ooh, they were all looking
Naomi's sneakers lighting up.
Mm-hmm.
Tamina's hair.
Sure.
There was all kinds of things to take away from that.
Just all good stuff. Well, lots of good looking
ladies. It could have been on the show, the main show, but
yeah. But so like we touched on it earlier, the Divas champ, the butterfly belt, that is no more. It is the WWE Women's Championship. I like the way the new belt kind of looks like the men's World Heavyweight Championship. I thought even like a subtle thing like that, I think adds a little bit of legitimacy to it.
Yeah, dude, definitely looks legit.
I thought it was cool that Lita, unveiled it. I thought, that was a really cool move, and it just, I think it's a really big step forward for the company.
Most definitely. I think just shedding the whole Divas the tagline of that, I've always felt that it had a negative connotation to it. And I think we've seen in NXT, certainly, and on the main roster, the whole Divas Revolution, which always kind of, it was almost like jumbo shrimp. It was kind of an oxymoron,
Right.
but now I feel like now it's women's wrestling. They're going to refer to their female competitors and their male competitors as superstars. So I think this is a great move, and I feel like WWE is in the right for kind of promoting it as a thing, so to speak. They're making a deal of it and acknowledging the fact that Divas maybe wasn't the best choice of words.
Yeah.
Well, what becomes of the show? What becomes of the show Total Divas? Because that's like wildly popular.
That's a great question. I was kind of wondering that myself.
I don't see why. It's the name of the show. I mean, they could probably still call it Total Divas and everything. They probably don't even have to change that. I don't really see that even being an issue. It's not like they have to change it to Total Women now or something like that.
Well, it actually it would make kind of sense to keep some of those, like Eva Marie and Alicia Fox, keep them as divas, like a separate divas division.
Heels, the heels.
Yeah, like that, and they should have kind of done a divas versus women's. They kind of missed opportunity in having a few. Although I feel like they've done that.
Dude,
and Mania
Eva Marie is a heat magnet. Like,
oh yeah,
and they I read that they didn't expect her to get booed the night that she came out and debuted. It's like, what?
They were going to push her as a babyface?
Yeah, because she came out and she was their 5th member on that Total Divas team to come out and save them on that Raw before Mania, and immediately booed. And I thought that was the point. It was like she was going to turn on them or cost them the match. But no, they're totally pushing her because Vince obviously likes the way she looks.
That's almost her gimmick now, is that everybody hates her. Like, that's it.
Yeah, she is a magnet.
She's got that female Roman Reigns thing going.
But, I mean, she revels in it.
But everybody hates her. Yeah.
Like, I think she embraces it. At least in NXT. So, I mean...
She needs to feud with Becky Lynch over who gets to keep that hair color.
Right? I'd be down with that.
That's a moneymaker. But Vince Russo could put a hair dye on a pole match.
Of course. It's always on a pole.
Hair dye and Becky's goggles on a pole.
Oh, paging Dr. Freud. All right. So anyways, so that happened. That was a good match. So the Usos and the Dudley Boys, which I thought that could have been a little higher in the card, but that was a solid match.
It was what it was. I got a gripe with the Usos that their face paint looks too much like the Ultimate Warrior. That's all I got. That's all I got on that match.
I figured you would love that, though.
Nah, I'm not a fan of anybody stealing somebody who's dead. Like Batista used to. Well, Warrior was still alive when he did it, but Batista used to shake the ropes, and he finally admitted it was a tribute to Warrior. But
gotcha.
That may actually be a symptom of steroid abuse. Actually.
Wow. Side effects include rope shaking.
Shaking the ropes.
Yeah. Little known fact there.
It's possible. And Warrior's tassels were tied a little too tight around.
Way too tight.
Side effects include rope shaking, homophobia, and misogyny. Got it. All right. Good to know.
And anal seepage.
Right.
Yes.
So the Usos got the win. That was cool that they went over on the Dudleys. Now I guess this was the start of the official show. We had the IC ladder match. That was awesome.
We had Fifth Harmony.
Yeah, hey, they weren't bad at all. That was pretty good.
I don't know who the hell they were, but they were actually, I was like, surprisingly good.
Let's talk about Fifth Harmony for a second. I'm going to bring that up. It didn't seem like there was a lot of musical guests this year, but I mean they went out and sang "America the Beautiful." I did a little research on them. Apparently, they're one of these groups where it's like they were all contestants on the X Factor, and then they were paired together in a group. Kind of like what One Direction, how One Direction came together in the UK. It was like a similar thing.
I didn't know that either.
That sounds kind of like how the faction in wrestling X Factor was paired together. Just a bunch of random people who, hey, let's put them together. Why not?
A couple of randos, and let's make a group
worst
out of it.
theme song in the history of WWE is the X Factor.
That's saying something.
Uncle Cracker.
Oh boy!
Wow.
I don't even want to sing a verse, but I remember how it goes.
Oh, I do too. Now, I think if there was an opposite of the so-called Road Warrior pop, where as soon as the first note hits, everybody's like, "Yeah!" I'm pretty sure the Uncle Cracker, "What You Looking At" X Factor theme is the polar opposite of that.
Wow.
In case anybody doesn't know who we're talking about, it was X-Pac, Justin Incredible, and Albert.
Yeah.
Albert.
That is a fantastic.
Fresh off of his hip hop hippo run there.
That is a trifecta from hell.
And now he's the head trainer in NXT. Who would have fucking seen that one coming?
Yeah, I mean, he also had a great career in Japan and came back as Tensai for about 5 minutes.
Lord Tensai. How dare he call himself Lord?
Right. I know that's that's a sensitive spot with you. I know.
Yes.
There's only one Lord. As long as we're on the subject of music and WrestleMania, my God, if I go the rest of my life without hearing "My House" by Flo Rida, I'll die happy.
No more Flo Rida. No more.
I can't take it.
Yeah.
I almost can never rewatch WrestleMania from how many times they shoved that song down our throats.
They beat that song into the ground.
Good Lord. They had "Hail to the King." They had Lemmy's version of "Sympathy for the Devil." It had all these alternate themes, and they still just shoved Flo Rida.
I mean, this is how many years now that they've shoved Flo Rida down our throat? I mean, he did the entrance at 28 in Miami with the Tron bike.
Curt, you and I were there.
Yeah.
Oh, were you? You guys went to that one?
Yeah, we were there. The IC title match was great. I thought everyone's entrances, and I mean, say what you will about the booking leading up to this Mania, I loved it. I mean, just seeing all those people there. It was like, almost 100,000 people, depending on the reports you read. But I mean, that was a packed house, man. And
Well, WWE loves to inflate their WrestleMania numbers.
But I mean, the entrances were fantastic. I mean, everyone's energy was off the charts. All of it.
Looking stage and setup, and all that shit was awesome. The stage and the Titantron thing was like unbelievable.
Definitely, and the IC title match was great. Lots of great stunts there. They didn't go too overboard. Like I don't think anyone got like seriously hurt from it, which is good. I always worry about that in these types of matches. And I had to mark out a little bit. My man Zack Ryder went over.
Certainly did not see that one coming at all.
I did not see that coming in any way, form, or fashion.
I didn't either. I was hoping that he would at least have a good WrestleMania moment in there, or at least a good spot where he could shine. I didn't expect him to go over. I mean, you guys know I've been a Zack Ryder fan for a long time.
Yeah, then again, it is possibly 4 years too late, maybe. But
no,
they could have done it in New York, New Jersey at WrestleMania 29 when he was in Long Island. Perhaps would have made a little more sense than Dallas, but I guess you can't have everything.
I agree, but I mean, like, I was just so happy for him, and just like I got goosebumps when I saw him, do that, and his dad went into it. I mean, that was a great moment, obviously, and of course,
short-lived.
Yeah, no, they had to have him drop it the next night on Raw for some reason.
And again, didn't see that one coming either. It's like
that was
really surprising.
That was really, really surprising. I mean, I had a feeling that they would maybe stretch it out like a month, but I didn't think that they would do it the next night. I really didn't think that they would switch it over to The Miz, and I was actually pleasantly surprised that Maurice came back. We can get to that about.
Now I'm actually looking forward to The Miz coming out every Monday night.
Yeah, me too.
I'm pro Miz.
Well, now that I guess Cesaro is the number one contender for the IC title, but even like last night on Raw, like Zack Ryder was still like in the conversation, even though he didn't show up. So part of me is holding out hope that he's not done yet as far as that goes. It's not looking good.
There is one glaring exception from from Mania, from the last couple weeks of Raw, is what the fuck is going to become of Stardust, Cody Rhodes, whatever you want to call him. He's got really no direction right now.
No, really, they had a chance about 2 years ago to have like a Goldust versus Stardust match at either last year's Mania or the one before that, but
yeah, I think it was last year.
But that
didn't. Fastlane instead.
But they pulled it a month before. I don't know why.
I wonder. Yeah, he had such momentum going a few years ago with the Authority angle, where he fought to get his job back, and it just seems kind of strange.
Yeah, they put you could have had
for a while.
You could have had a brother versus brother match there. It just, ever since then, Stardust hasn't. He had the thing at SummerSlam with Stephen Amell. That was cool, but really, ever since then, he hasn't really had too much going on.
He needs something, man. He's kind of just lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, no, and I like Cody. He's a great talent, but I liked his gear that kind of paid tribute to his dad with the polka dots on there. That was nice.
That was awesome. He's definitely not trying to hide his lineage anymore.
No, and nor should he.
And he had the polka dot ladder, man.
That was cool. That made me smile. All right, moving on. We had Jericho versus Styles. How could that have not been a good match?
Fantastic.
I think everyone expected that to be the Savage Steamboat of the night, and it kind of was.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I didn't expect Jericho to go over. I wasn't.
No,
I was kind of hoping that they would have given it to AJ, but obviously AJ's doing pretty good now. He's the number one contender.
Especially considering, the next night that they made him number one contender kind of made the booking of Mania a little strange to me.
It's a head scratcher, but.
You know what, guys? If you look back historically at people who make their debut after being somewhere else, and maybe this is just a symptom of Vince McMahon thinking and booking, a lot of people, whenever they come in for their first WrestleMania, end up doing the job.
Also, wins and losses mean nothing in WWE.
No.
People need to realize that. They're burying the Wyatts. It's like, Raven's Flock never won any matches in WCW.
The Wyatts, the Wyatts were kind of already buried at this point, but we'll get to that later.
Oh man, yeah, we'll get to that.
Oh yeah,
much later, sure.
Definitely. So the Jericho Styles match was great. What more can you say? Those guys are awesome.
No complaints with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Good shit.
The League of Nations and the New Day,
Ooh boy.
I guess that was a non-title match. Was that supposed to be?
I got a lot to say on that match. Yeah. What the fuck? What Wade Barrett? What's going on?
Was that supposed to be 4-on-3, or was Wade Barrett just a corner man?
I'm pretty sure they kept showing the graphic as 4 versus 3 handicap match. I maybe expected a fourth member to join the New Day, but they came out and they don't even acknowledge why Wade Barrett's not wrestling. And something tells me it's because he's leaving. He gave his notice that they didn't want to give him a full payday.
Right.
I don't know if that's even, if that's even possible, because he still worked the event. And he helped them win. So. And then the next night, he got excommunicated for losing.
Yeah.
I guess because for the titles. Just very, very bizarre. Not to mention other. Ugh.
Yeah, it's a shame. I like Barrett. I think he's a great talent, but it seems like they're kind of done with him at this point.
Why did New Day not win? Why?
Yeah.
Again, wins and losses don't matter, but that is the hottest, most popular team. Vince was really trying to stick it to us, and having AJ lose, the New Day lost, all the crowd favorites they lost. I don't know what he's trying to pull there.
Nobody does, but and of course then they had the moment with Austin and Shawn Michaels and Mick Foley coming out. That a lot of people complained. A lot of people complained about that. I thought it was fun.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome, but it just doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense that those three guys would be together backstage, and HBK was dressed to compete, even though he's retired.
Yeah,
minus the wrist tape, which really, really stood out, seeing Shawn Michaels with no wrist tape on.
And of course, yeah, it starts the is he coming back rumors. Like, none of those guys, all three of those guys are retired and in the Hall of Fame. So it was just an excuse to get them out there. I get it. It just seems kind of like they don't put a whole hell of... I'm glad they weren't backstage in a dancing segment.
No, they were right out front for a dancing segment.
But, like, Austin should have been advertised for weeks. Like, you're going to see The Rock. You're going to see Stone Cold. Instead, they just kind of threw him out there. I don't know. I feel like I'm not just complaining to complain. Like, you really could use Stone Cold in a better... Yeah. Not to mention, he stunned Xavier Woods.
That was perfect.
Which was funny.
I mean,
funny as shit.
It's
but
like
they're trying to get him over as baby faces, and they have him stun the New Day. It's just
they also have like them beat up the top heels, which I don't know if that did the League of Nations too many favors. Like there wasn't, like, you couldn't have fed them the social outcast or something.
Yeah, there's definitely a theme of the night where the new guys lose to the old guys. Jericho, Brock, Taker. You know, he's still got a hard on for his boys.
Who's
the Attitude Era guys.
Who's booking this? Eric Bischoff? Like, come on.
I don't know. Patterson.
Yeah. Well,
he's a hard on.
Anyways, no, I mean, Austin stunning Xavier. That was actually kind of pitch perfect.
His dancing leading up to the stunner was the best.
I like the New Day's entrance coming out of the box of Bootios. That was cute.
I had heard they were going to do something big involving like unicorns coming out on unicorns or some shit, but I guess they couldn't make that happen, and rightfully so. I don't know how the hell you would make that happen.
I would have liked to see them like each come out on horseback with like unicorn horns strapped to the horses' heads.
The Bootios was like giant boxes of cereal, just like, again, didn't see that one coming.
I mean, it makes no sense, but somehow it's hilarious.
This Mania kept me guessing, man. It threw me for several loops, and that's not a bad thing. I like a few surprises thrown my way, and this match was full of them.
A couple of swerves.
Oh, yeah.
Couple of swerves, and I like the White Ranger, like the Dragon Ball Z haircuts and the White Ranger vests from Power Rangers. That was, of course, that was Xavier's idea, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Nice. All of it was great.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose. I love Dean Ambrose. Like, his character does not give a crap about anything.
Probably could have gone over, considering his wild popularity, but you can't beat Brock at Mania because he beat The Undertaker, and I get it.
But I mean, I thought Brock still looked good. Even I'm sorry, I thought Dean Ambrose still looked strong, even in losing, because it's like,
he didn't use the chainsaw enough from Terry Funk.
Well, what was he gonna do with that? Was he gonna like saw Brock's arms off with that? Like, what was the chainsaw supposed to do?
Kind of decapitation gimmick.
Right. They could have done a table versus chainsaw spot.
Yeah, they could have the Dudleys involved somehow.
Yeah, there you go. Or just have Brock like pick up the announce table or something crazy and get ready to throw it at him.
And when they introduce a barbed wire baseball bat, I don't know why I expect there to be blood, and doesn't have to be, doesn't need to be blood. It's in a Hell in a Cell match too.
And then, of course, in the match itself, we see Dean Ambrose swing it one time, and immediately came to my mind was Bob Uecker, just a bit outside.
Also a Hall of Famer.
Yes, Hall of Famer Bob Uecker. Again, rightfully, he deserves to be in there. I'm a huge Bob Uecker mark.
I'm amazed that Cyndi Lauper isn't in the celebrity wing of Hall of Fame. Like, that's a no-brainer, but not that she's that relevant, but Anyways.
Yeah, they could throw some money at her.
Yeah, I mean, we'll put over Cyndi clean in the middle. Say it.
Let's see her true colors.
Oh, she bopped. All right. Man. That doesn't even make sense.
Goonies are good enough.
Wow.
That video, by the way, look on YouTube. Goonies are good enough. Has so many WWE Hall of Famers in it.
Sheik, Andre, Moolah.
So good.
Speaking of which, this has nothing to do with Mania, by the way. I just want to make a comment on Enzo Amore. He looks like Captain Lou fucked. He looks like Captain Lou fucked Lamal from Kajagoogoo. That's all I'm gonna say.
Lamal who sang Never Ending Story.
That's right. It's too shy.
Another one of my favorite
Hush,
movies.
eye to eye.
We got the Goonies and Never Ending Story in here tonight, so I'm happy.
Wow.
Yes.
It's got to work in a Pee-wee's Big Adventure reference at some point.
Good times. All right. So Dean lost to Large Marge. I mean Brock Lesnar.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Nicely
thanks.
done.
Thank you. No, but that was. I mean, like you said, that could have gone longer, but I thought it was good. I thought both guys looked good in the match. Didn't really hurt anybody. It was fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Again, whatever. Fine.
Lesnar kind of rides off into the sunset to go eat people or whatever the hell it is he does in the cave that he lives in somewhere in the wilderness.
Somewhere in the wilderness of Minnesota, he's got some dairy farm somewhere. I guess he's got to do that and collect his money.
A very good question as to what is next. Who is left for Brock Lesnar to I don't think there's no big feuds left for the guy.
There's really not, but I see a couple maybe big money matchups. I could see them doing Lesnar versus The Rock at WrestleMania. One good match out of that. I think you could get 3 months out of that between the Rumble and WrestleMania.
Yeah, why not Orlando, man? Shit, bring it on.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
Samoa Joe would be cool with Brock Lesnar too. I don't know. It'd be a good.
It's a shame It's a shame they don't have Bobby Lashley. I thought that would be cool to see those two guys. MMA. Not that Lashley's a huge star, but he was kind of like the answer.
They could bring Batista back, the second biggest movie star ever,
right.
Other than The Rock. Never saw that one coming either. Holy
no
shit!
One saw that coming. He's Drax.
He's awesome. You got to give props to Big Dave, man. He's killing it.
Yeah, he's going to be in the new Blade Runner as well.
Holy shit, man! He's got a momentum that can't be stopped.
Yeah, I mean,
the guy that was being booed.
He's already been in Guardians.
2 years ago,
he's already been Spectre. Big movies.
He was booed out of the building when he won the Rumble 2 years ago with Daniel Bryan.
Deal with it.
Like Boo-tista. Now he's the man.
Yeah, deal with it.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. So there was the triple threat women's match. We talked about that earlier. That was great. I mean, what more can you say? That was a great match. I liked Nate.
Probably my favorite match, man. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy having the women steal the show at whether NXT takeovers or even now WrestleMania. They really do bust their ass and put it all out there. And we got Flair there too. Nothing
Flair
wrong with
just
that.
being Flair, pulling shenanigans.
Any chance to see Flair.
I like how they're booking Charlotte like they used to book Ric Flair, where Flair would have the Horseman or J.J. Dillon or whoever it was to get him out of these situations, and he'd always walk away still the champ. They're doing the exact same thing with Charlotte. Really, her retaining there was a big surprise to me, but certainly deserving. She's pretty good in the ring. I don't think she's quite as exciting outwardly as Sasha or Becky or Bayley, but she's a hell of a hand and a good champion, a good starting point. I mean,
and she's
you can say that. Oh yeah, definitely.
What'd you guys think of that robe that she wore? That was Flair's retirement robe.
Yeah,
she had makeshift. It was pretty awesome. It was the one that he wore at WrestleMania 24. Again, we were there.
Yeah, that was incredible.
I
thought that was pretty sweet.
Very cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody expected Sasha, so that's where they swerved you.
Yep.
And I totally expected Kevin Owens to retain in that first match, and they had Zack Ryder win. So they're throwing a few surprises at us.
Yeah.
Swerve-a-mania, Michael. I love it.
So I'm sorry, JBL. I didn't know you were going to be on this podcast.
You should have known. He's a bully. He bullies himself in anywhere.
Wow. Does JBL have anything else to share with us, or I don't know?
You probably believe in Black Hawk helicopters, Michael.
It's my name's Jack, actually, but that's beside
Michael.
The point. Okay. Thank you.
Michael Connor. JBL is a wrestling god. That needs to be said.
Right.
Why didn't he go in the Hall of Fame in Dallas? What the fuck? That was a missed opportunity.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't put him in that year, but I mean,
They had to put
he'll get in.
Stan the Man Hansen.
I almost wonder if they weren't if they didn't ask JBL and he was like, no, Stan Hansen's not in there. I'm not going in before Stan Hansen, lest I have my head lariated off of my body by Stan Hansen.
Luke Harper's doing the clothesline from hell now. He's doing it pretty good too.
Well, he was until he got injured for. I think he's going to be out 6 months.
Brutal.
Clotheslining his nurses wherever the fuck he is.
Wow.
He's clotheslining his buzzard in the hospital, brother.
He's Luke Harper's actually a friend of mine. Shout out to Lindsay. I know you're listening. So,
Name dropping.
Hey, that's what I do.
Hey, as long as we're name dropping, I do want to mention that John Laurinaitis is a close personal friend of mine.
Yeah, again, not something to brag about.
He is a dynamic dude. I don't know if you're aware. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Next year in Orlando, let's make it happen, baby. I will induct him.
People power.
Let's not say we did.
I would put him over like you wouldn't believe.
You would. You would, just to drive me insane.
That man gets to thank for me having received 2 paychecks from World Wrestling Entertainment, so you could all blow me where the Pampers is.
Well, that says a lot about his judgment in hiring people, but
That's why he's out on his ass.
Pretty much.
Hey, from what I understand, he's shacking up with the Bella's mom now, so
they are married.
He's married.
Wow.
Boy, that's if Nikki or Bree have a kid. Wow, that's going to be
They missed out on a prime storyline there. It'll probably be on Total Divas.
Yes.
Because John Cena, Nikki Bella, Daniel Bryan, and Bree, and then John Laurinaitis and their mom.
I'd be okay if that stayed on Total Divas, honestly.
I would love to see a sitcom where Daniel Bryan and John Cena are the two, in-laws basically, and right. Big Johnny is the stepdad, and he's all,
Oh my God! Yeah,
he's Big Johnny, and then just have Bryan and John just pulling ribs on him all the time.
Pretty much, it'd be like the Odd Couple meets Yes Dear and meets Suburban Commando. I don't know why.
Somebody get Fox on the horn right now.
I know, someone call CBS, Chuck Lorre. We got a hit on our hands.
Just be careful what you wish for. That's all I can say, man.
Right.
Yes.
You really want to watch that shit? Have 9 seasons?
Not really. I really don't want to see John Laurinaitis on my television in any way, shape, or form.
How dare you, sir?
How dare you?
First the Warrior, now this.
That's right. I'm burying them left and right.
Aaron J, Brooks Wackerman, Danny Cooksey.
That's really all you need to say.
We're playing fuck, marry, kill.
All right. Anyways, Undertaker versus Shane McMahon. I mean, my God.
Holy shit.
That was.
We all knew. We knew something was gonna happen. How could Shane not do some crazy shit?
I mean, I thought it was kind of cute seeing the entrance where he came out with his 3 boys doing the Shane O'Mac entrance. That was adorable.
I thought they were going to take a dive off the top of the cell at some point.
Watch this, Dad.
Taker just choke slams all 3 of them. Oh my God. That would have been brutal, man.
I thought they should have at
Grandpa.
least. I thought they should have at least had Taker go over to his kids and do the throat slash thing and the eye roll. That would have been awesome.
And they start crying.
Yeah, dude, why not? Why not? I mean, add it in there. Those kids are around the business. They're going to be in the business. That's
heartless even for Vince.
Maybe if we can shave those helmet hairdos and give them a little roids, send them down to developmental, and 6 months from now we'll have new champions.
Wow.
I do like the fact that Shane had 3 boys and Stephanie and Triple H had 3 girls.
Wow.
So Shane's boys can take over, while Triple H's girls can just marry 3 guys like he did to get into the business.
Can marry Roman Reigns Jr. or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Or how
Sika's.
about Owen Steen? Throw him in there if we're mentioning.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Owen Steen.
Yeah, this is getting a little too real. Come on, let's leave the kids out of this. Save that.
We know too much. Foley's kids are getting involved now. Noel and his son,
Save that
Dewey,
for WrestleMania 53.
on the creative. I'll be there, man. I'll be there. You know I will.
Of course.
Kane Dewey.
Kane Dewey. Kane Dewey if he's responsible for half of these booking decisions. That's for damn sure.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh man, bringing it back around.
I said it, Foley.
Wow.
What of it?
I don't know why I got a gripe with Foley all of a sudden.
Right. That's your big stance. That's.
Yeah. Foley's the nicest guy to go after in the world of wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah.
He looked good, man. DDP got him in shape too, Foley.
Yeah. Hey, back to the match. Yeah, the Undertaker versus Shane McMahon, that was pretty much everything we thought it was going to be. I was curious to see where they were going to go with it, but I mean, of course, that jump. My God. I mean, even with the crash pad and everything, I'm sure they took precautions with it, but like, holy crap, man, that was unbelievable.
He really didn't have to do that, he doesn't need the money. I think he probably wanted to show his kids that Daddy used to be the man. This is what he used to do. And he still got it, man. They chanted at it. He still got it. He really does. He's awesome.
I mean, it's pretty, like, that says a lot about Shane. I mean, it's like, obviously, he's never needed the money for this sort of thing. He does it because he wants to. And I think that's amazing.
I think a lot of people think he still has to prove to his dad that, like,
well, yeah,
he's willing to do whatever it takes. And was that the stipulation that you have to have a match against The Undertaker, or you have to win a match against The Undertaker? I think
that was it, because, like, the next night, Vince, like, acknowledges, like, all right, he's like, you've shown me you're willing to put your life on the line.
Yeah.
And everyone was chanting for it, so he's like, you know what, screw it. Let's give him a shot. See, the show's yours.
That's a little crazy. I've never seen that stipulation just completely thrown out. That's the part of the booking that's kind of just like, oh, well, what the fuck was the point of the match then? You just
Thankfully, though, on the other side of that, we've had some really, really solid Monday Night Raw episodes, so...
I'll allow it.
And now, oddly enough, Taker is telling people that was his last match, even though he didn't lose at Mania, which it would have been his... It seemed like they could have made... Shane could have just went over, won control of Raw, Taker could have lost, and rode off into the sunset in Dallas, Texas, where he's from. It's just like, sometimes these things fall into place and they don't realize it. I just look at these things afterwards, like God, man.
We all do.
None of them do. Fucking Michael Hayes, too busy picking out his suit for the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
Picking out his favorite fanny pack from the collection.
What a jackass.
I'm sure he probably had bald eagles and rare pandas slaughtered for that outfit.
Fanny packs are their gimmick bags, by the way. That's where they keep their gimmicks.
The old gimmick bag.
Now, we're at the Andre Battle Royal now, right?
We are. My God, you actually got us back on track. Amazing.
Hell of a segue.
Because I want to address the elephant in the room, if you want to call it, the surprise of the evening.
Oh, here we go. No.
Yeah, you're thinking Shaq. I'm thinking fucking Tatanka, baby.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He was there.
Where the hell did he come from? He didn't get an entrance. He just got thrown in there.
Even the announcer.
They're just like, hey,
I was marking the fuck out for Tatanka, man.
Even the announcers were like, hey, is that Tatanka?
Yeah,
like, what the hell's Tatanka doing here? Who let him in?
Like, even they acknowledged it, which was hilarious.
Well, you know what's crazy is that Tatanka actually set a record by appearing at WrestleMania for the longest time between WrestleMania match appearances.
What was his last one? 9?
9, yeah, WrestleMania 9.
When he wrestled
that
Shawn
was when
Michaels.
he was supposed to beat HBK for the title, but HBK did some backstage shit and wouldn't drop the title to him, and that sounds like, 93 HBK was pretty hard to deal with.
Tatanka was undefeated for a year, I remember that.
Yeah, he was undefeated, man.
And then he randomly came back and won the tag titles with Matt Hardy, of all people.
Yeah, like 10 years ago, he had a run on SmackDown for a little
Yeah.
bit.
Right. Yeah.
Tatanka and Matt Hardy. What in the hell?
He went heel and started wearing all black
Yeah.
face paint there. And I mean, he was heel in his original run with the $1 Million Man too. And
Did like a Roddy
I'm
Piper
glad we get to
Braveheart
talk
gimmick.
about any chance we get to talk about Tatanka. I'm happy.
Well, yeah.
His
There you
theme
go.
song.
Well, you got your wish then.
Tatanka, Buffalo.
Right.
Thank
For the
you, Simon.
WrestleMania.
Thank you, Simon Cowell.
Nice.
Oh, man. Thank you, really? Is that the word you want to use?
Yeah, I mean, well,
Or go fuck yourself, Simon Cowell.
that's
I
sounds
think
more like
perhaps that's a bit more apropos.
it. Yeah, pretty much
American Idol. In peace.
pretty much everything he's done.
No, I mean, I guess we could address Shaq and DDP and Baron Corbin being
Yeah. All surprises.
awesome, dude. I'm all for surprises.
You know,
DDP,
I mean, the Andre the Giant, trophy is kind of meaningless because it doesn't really lead to anything. But it's kind of cool to have, and it lets all these guys get a payday.
It should be all giants. Like that would be actually if it was just Big Show, Kane, Mark Henry, fucking throw Great Khali in there, I guess, if you want to.
I mean, they only have so many of those guys to go around, so it's.
But like over the years, man, you think about all the giants they've had. They could make it like. I bet again, what's the point? I don't know.
Yeah,
You don't.
It's not
don't
your
get
hill to
it,
die
yeah.
on.
That's why it's Shaq, and now they're setting up a big feud for WrestleMania 33. Shaq and Big Show, like the match the world's been waiting to see since 2009 when Shaq appeared on Raw as the
right.
guest host.
It's a long
Hey,
build-up.
Shaq started out with the Magic, man. They might be onto something there.
Yeah.
He already said he told people that this was just a setup, and he's doing some go around in the media interviews when he mentioned that this is just leading up to him.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
And that's fine. We got Floyd Mayweather and Big Show years ago.
Why not?
So I'll get Shaq.
Hey, and don't forget Big Show and Akebono. That was a real sizzle.
I was
been
trying.
Yeah, we've all been trying to forget that.
How dare you, sir?
Yeah.
Akebono. Trying to block out that memory of two grown men wearing diapers.
No one needs to relive that.
WrestleMania.
At the Garden. But yeah, Baron Corbin winning it. Didn't see that coming, but good for him.
Yeah, not bad. Not a bad choice. Because I had no idea who the fuck was going to win this shit. With the, what's it called? The Social Outcasts being the biggest names in the thing.
I was thinking maybe Mark Henry with it being in Texas, but no.
No, that would have made too much sense, dude. How dare you apply logic
Exactly.
to any kind of WWE booking.
All right.
Me too. I saw Mark Henry, and that he could have rode off into the sunset again. Retire, please. Let him retire in Texas.
Right. So then we moved on to Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, coming out.
He's
huge pop. Yeah, he was there too.
He missed the match, and he set a record, like he said.
Yeah,
9 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of cool when it's like he was all of a sudden ready to go, like ripped off the shirt, the breakaway pants, and he's there in his gear, like that. I mean, the crowd popped huge for that.
Cesaro did the same thing the next night.
Right.
Ripping off the suit. That's apparently a thing now.
It's a thing. Yeah, that's something they're doing. But I mean, it was a cool moment for sure. I mean,
Little long-winded. The Rock tends to just talk about his goosebumps every year now. Like, it's cool seeing The Rock. We're gonna see him. I feel like we've seen him every year since 27 now.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, they got to get him out there, dude. He's the biggest.
I mean, he's the best.
I think it's safe to say now he's the biggest. He's above Hogan. He's above Andre the Giant. He's above Austin even. Like, The Rock is the biggest superstar they've ever had.
Wait, let's not knock Mr. Nanny.
or John Laurinaitis. But, I mean, when I say the biggest superstar, obviously Lord Alfred Hayes.
Well, that goes without saying.
Or Virgil.
But by the way, speaking of great movies, I love how in the Hall of Fame induction they mentioned Stan Hansen's just star-making appearance in the cinematic classic No Holds Barred.
Oh, yes. Which, by the way, why not induct Zeus Tiny Lister. What the fuck is his name?
Why not at this point? I mean, it's
Yeah.
He deserves. I'd like to see him. Although then they got to show Hogan, so we can't do that.
Can't do it, brother.
Then they got to bring out then they got to bring out that actor Curt Fuller who played like
Curt Fuller, yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Bring him out there.
He could use the work.
Wayne, you're nodding.
But it is a little bit. There's no mention or footage of Hogan in any of the videos. Like it's a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's so weird. There's the first 9 WrestleManias, the guy headlined, and now it's just like who?
Yeah,
and yet, Donald Trump gets a mention. So there you go, WWE logic, folks.
Wow.
And the Freebirds are inducted in the Hall of Fame. It's the same year. Like, what the hell, man?
And the Warrior and Vince were best friends, always.
Yeah.
Do not pick up the Warrior. How dare you speak ill of the dead?
Oh, fuck him.
That's it.
Fire up the rocket ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently the rocket ship is loaded with, steroids and cocaine. All right. Anyways, so Eric Rowan lost in 8 seconds. That was something.
Shocking. I'm surprised they didn't go with Braun Strowman. The future of the business.
Somewhere in Atlantic City, New Jersey, King Kong Bundy was weeping 5 single tears.
Wow.
At his WrestleMania record being broken.
Wow.
SD Jones, baby, right?
Yes, Special Delivery Jones, indeed.
That the first Mania or the second?
First one.
Doesn't even matter. Is the other?
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Somewhere those guys are hanging out with the Warlord, saying it's like, ain't that a bitch?
I was sure Braun Strowman would have won the Andre Battle Royal. But I think they gave up on that guy.
Yeah.
Or, whatever.
Well, I mean, I think they didn't want The Rock to wrestle a full match because he's, like, in the middle of shooting movies and just, too much liability there. But
And why not take another opportunity to crap all over the Wyatt family? That's, why not?
I mean, at this point...
You already crapped on the League of Nations and the New Day with a bunch of Attitude Era guys. Why not throw a couple other guys to shit on the Wyatts?
Yeah, I mean...
Which
I guess the Wyatts are bulletproof at this point because they're still getting big reactions, and now they're going to be like full-blown baby faces, I think.
We'll see. We'll see.
I mean,
I thought that was cool to see Bray in the main event on Raw this week with the fact that his grandpa passed away this week. I thought that was a nice little touch.
Rest in peace, Blackjack Mulligan.
Jack.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to say to that. If Cena came out and did his thing, and I mean, that was a cool moment. I mean, people are going to remember that, so that was a big deal. And then
you got everyone. Yeah, Rock, Cena, Austin, HBK, Foley, they're all there.
Yeah, I mean, what more do you want?
Hogan.
Do you want Hogan? I mean, I do, but I know you don't.
Warrior. Savage, Piper. Dusty.
Yeah, if you put enough Ico Pro, maybe it'll work.
It's like Soylent Green is people.
Yeah.
I'm going to smoke some Ico Pro and see what happens.
There you go, dude.
Pack up a bowl of Ico Pro.
Wow.
It's been aged for 20 years.
I'm going to find it buried in the desert, like those Atari cartridges. I know it's somewhere.
There's a whole cache of it probably in Stanford underneath WWE HQ.
Oh, got my name on it, so back off.
I have a feeling that if there's any kind of like bug out plan or like freak out plan for WWE,
freak out.
It's probably that they're just going to go down in the basement and eat Ico Pro protein bars.
I heard that once you smoke Ico Pro, the Warriors promos will all make sense.
Apparently so.
That's all I'm looking for. Is just a little clarity.
You got that going for you. So let's move on to the main event. Roman Reigns defeats Triple H. Really, no surprise there. We all knew that was going to happen. We all knew that Reigns.
No surprises. No run-ins. No Rollins. No Kane. No
double turns, which some people predicted that like Triple H
kind of like ended, and you're like, that's it. I mean, Stephanie got speared. And
we saw Stephanie evolve into her final form apparently as The evil Wicked Witch.
I dug it though. I thought it was a cool entrance, and Triple H always has cool entrances. I mean,
very
Stephanie is not. Look, Stephanie is not a good actress. All right, I think we can safely say, but she commits hard to it. And
I'm pretty sure that speech we heard and that full outfit and everything, I think Stephanie probably does that on a nightly basis. I think that's the only way that Triple H can, get the game, going.
Wow.
Is
play the game.
I gotta say,
Yes.
man, she was looking good in that outfit though. Come on.
Does she ever not look good, man? She Triple H stole my woman.
Wow.
This poor subject.
I didn't know. We're learning all kinds of new stuff, but
she's the hottest woman in the world. And
yeah, man. Between the speech and that outfit, I mean, I'm not gonna say it moved a little, but I'm not gonna say it didn't. So, hey, let's.
She moved me. She lifted my spirits. You gotta rise at him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit Wicked Witch of the West, a little bit Rita Repulsa in there, but it worked. A
little bit Beyonce at the Super Bowl halftime show, or was it Madonna?
Yeah.
A little Illuminati, Black Panther vibe going.
It was
fine by me.
I was digging it.
Fine by me. She was definitely cutting a promo on. That was a shoot.
Yeah, it really was. It really was in many ways.
Yeah,
that was from the heart. That was not scripted. That was just how she feels.
She was probably backstage and like, all right, damn it! I said get this stage out here right now. I got something to say. What? What do you mean? Damn it! I own this company.
Wow, that was a pretty good step. Kind of just sound like Vince, just higher, but it worked.
Yes.
It was a good night to be a Samoan, whether you're The Rock or the sons of Rikishi or the son of Sika.
Yeah.
The Samoans have left their stamp on WWE forever.
It was a good night for the Samoans for sure. I will say
now
this.
Roman Reigns, he's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's the guy.
Ooh.
And that is going to get him.
I mean, he's a guy, I don't know if he's the guy, but it's, yeah.
Is he? Can we prove that?
I mean, he is a guy. We know that.
We can confirm that he is not, in fact, Guy Fieri.
That is also true.
Do we know for sure that he's not transitioning?
Very unlikely.
Yes.
I mean, we're totally accepting of that kind of thing in this day and age. Warrior's not around anymore to speak ill.
Right.
Wearing not making the world work.
By the way, ironically, his last match was with Orlando Jordan, but that's neither here nor there.
Holy crap! It was, wasn't it?
That happened.
That's an unfortunate coincidence. Oh my god. Does anyone remember Orlando Jordan a few years ago in TNA with the white?
I do remember.
Yes, that was.
You're gonna pick up Akibono. I'm gonna.
Yeah. Good point.
No.
Good job, TNA. Good job.
Good stuff.
Well, my MVP of the night would definitely be Tatanka.
Oh yeah.
That's really all I took away from WrestleMania 32. Was
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say my MVP for the night was probably. Stephanie's leotard.
And Lana's ass.
We all won that night.
Yes.
We're all winners.
But I mean, by the way, about Roman Reigns, if 100,000 people booing this guy out of the building doesn't send a message to creative, I don't know what will.
No.
Firmly, like in unison, wow.
It wasn't even split down. It wasn't even split down the middle. Like, it was uniformly.
Cena gets John Cena sucks. Let's go Cena. Roman Reigns doesn't get. I've never seen it's mind-boggling.
And yet, still, they fail to turn him full heel and swim with the current. Nope, we're gonna go ahead and shave against the grain here, folks. Why not?
It's kind of an interesting storyline in that they're going to build up all these new guys, like he's fighting AJ Styles, and they're going to come so close each month to dethroning Roman. Cesaro,
I mean,
AJ.
I mean, let's be honest. Does anyone? I mean, I'm glad that he's the number one contender and that he's in the main event. But does anyone for a second think that AJ is going to beat Roman for the title?
They're clearly they're trolling everyone, man, and it's like in their favor because people are going to keep watching.
I think that they're going to try to keep pulling these crazy surprises out, and that we may actually see AJ actually do it. I mean, why not?
I mean, yeah, no, I agree. That would be awesome. I don't see it happening. But I mean, look, I'll be happy to be proven wrong if it happens.
I was kind of expecting them to come out Roman versus AJ at the pay-per-view, and then the Bullet Club guys interfere.
Yup.
But it is interesting that they attacked the Usos on Raw. When you think it seems kind of random and like, why the hell would they attack them? They are related to Roman Reigns. There could be a link between AJ and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. They're going to take out the Roman and the Usos. But again, that probably makes way too much sense.
Yes.
WWE.
We'll see. We saw Gallows and Anderson, come out last night. That was a pretty crazy thing. Definitely got people excited for that. A lot of Bullet Club chants there in LA. So yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, it's definitely an interesting time to be a fan right now. I mean, and honestly, I mean, overall, I really like this WrestleMania. I mean, I gotta say, it was one of the better ones I've seen in a few years. I mean, I don't think there was a bad match on the card. Say what you will about the booking and the build up to it. I think it was a great show, almost in spite of itself.
I always enjoy the matches. Yeah, I take the finishes a little bit too, even as they happen. You're like, oh, that's not who I would have had one. But you have to just realize the matches are entertaining. It's wrestling, thank God they have wrestling on a pay-per-view. It's not a bunch of skits and sketches and bull crap no one cares about. Like, it's WrestleMania, and, it serves its purpose every year. It does need to be a little shorter.
It got me excited about next year and what it's going to be in Orlando. Hopefully we're all there in person. We can, I'm sure we'll all get together at some point and check that out. And
until November. Tickets usually go on sale in November, so we got time to save up now.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'm already getting ready, stocking up money and getting. Going to be looking at getting a hotel and all that good stuff. I'm probably going to go ahead and get the hotel before I get the tickets. That way I can get a good room.
My brother lives in Orlando, so I'll be staying with him. And I mean, all else fails, you're free to crash there.
Right. And
ballin'.
I live in Orlando as well, so.
You don't want to stay with Jack.
Well, it's not me.
He's going to make you.
I
kiss and breathe and make you watch Hulk Hogan matches the whole weekend, so I'll pass.
Damn it, you're on to me. No, it's not me. It's Christina McMahon you got to worry about over here. She calls the shots. I'm just a lowly jobber.
McMahon. Is she? You married to McMahon, dude? Good for you.
Chris
married to the right
say it.
The boss.
Not a bad step.
Yeah.
The boss. Sasha Banks. You married Sasha Banks.
Yeah, she's all that rolled into one. She's got the book around here. Come on, we all know. All right, well, guys, any final thoughts? Corey?
I liked WrestleMania weekend as a whole. Really, really enjoyed NXT. I've greatly enjoyed the slow improvements to Raw since WrestleMania. And I really, really hope that WWE can take this momentum that they seem to be building and actually do something with it.
Definitely. And, couldn't agree more. Where can the folks find you?
You can find us at chronocord.com, CHRONOCHORD, or you can find us on YouTube, Twitter, SoundCloud under that name as well, Twitch. You can find us all over the place. Give us a shout out, say hey, and let us know what you think of our original music and our YouTube videos.
Definitely, man. Chronocord, you guys always have just quality stuff coming out all the time. It's just it never stops with Chronocord. Check out their stuff if you can. Brian, any final thoughts that you want to share? Any just sounds you want to make?
Yeah, I got nothing, dude.
All right.
Yeah, nothing. I don't want to be followed. I don't want to be bothered. I am back on Facebook. It's a miracle.
You are. You can also find him at Brian Brycon27 on Twitter.
Until I come up with a better Twitter handle, which I will someday. That was obviously an auto-generated one.
Clearly.
I don't care. I don't use the thing. Because I don't, whatever. Since I signed into Skype, I contacted Tammy Lynn Sitch.
Why?
Hi, I'd like to connect with you on Skype, so we'll see if she responds to that.
Wow. Well,
excellent.
Why not, dude?
Good luck with that.
Why not?
I like your way of promoting yourself. You make Brock Lesnar seem like a people person.
Funny days are here again.
Oh boy.
Good times. All right. Well, on that note, you can follow me on Twitter at jackxconnor. Check out my band, vertebreaker.net, and I'll list all the links down there. I want to thank everyone for listening, especially if you listened this far. Stay tuned for some bonus content with myself and Curt Braden. He'll be talking about his weekend in Dallas. For Brian, for Corey, I'm Jack Connor. This has been the Phoenix Report. We'll see you guys later. Don't forget to kick out at 2, as a great man once said.